There are deaths that have happened in my life where I thought this person was of great importance. For example, Heath Ledger was, you could say he's a legendary actor for his role and the way he died and the way he, put himself in that role. And Robin Williams, you might say, is another death you remember where you feel, kind of sorry for people you didn't know. You can think of Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. I've heard a lot about, legendary people dying. People have mentioned Kurt Cobain. People have mentioned, people who had huge cult followings and movements, who stood for something, at least within their respective, fandom. But none of that has ever struck me like Kobe Bryant dying, okay? When my fiance, she was sitting down and she just tells me, hey, Kobe's dead, I was like, Kobe? Like, it can't be Kobe. In my eyes, Kobe Bryant had lived such a focused, selfless life. Well, where he served basketball. It was an inward motivation. And he gave himself to the game. Right? Like, even at times when he didn't want to, he sacrificed relationships with his family, friends, everything for greatness.
If I'm buddies with you from high school, if I'm a cousin of yours, what happened to our relationship? How did that gravitate when you went into the league and you're determined to become the greatest, or you're determined to become one of the greatest? What happens to our relationship?
Oh, it suffers.
It does suffer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you understood that. You were okay with that.
Well, yeah, and the people that love you, like friends and family, they know that about you.
Got it.
So they let you be you. And when you reconvene, you pick back up where you left off. Mm-hmm. But make no mistake about it, everything in between is lost, right? So those long-term relationships, the commitment of time of, taking vacation. Like, I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends. And we'll just take vacations just to take vacations, or just hang out just to hang out. Like, I never did that.
Why not though? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Right. And he did that not just to be the best, but he knew he was setting an example for his children, and also an example for everyone watching. And in my opinion, when he left the game, his next role was to mentor us.
It's different because I personally am not writing every word of the novels. I am not animating the films. What I have to do now is make sure that the people that we bring in, these obsessives that we bring in, are challenging themselves to do the best job that they think they can do. That's what I'm there for, is for them to constantly look in the mirror and self-assess and challenge themselves. If we have a project and you're saying, okay, I can do that, that's not the project we want. The projects that say, I don't know if I can animate that. I don't know how to write that story. I don't know how to do that. Those are the things we want, because through that curiosity, you'll reach a level that you didn't think was possible. And so running the studio, that's what I'm doing.
All right, he was 41. He could have been 50, 60, 70. Imagine if he had lived just to 60, right? If, no health reasons happen, right? He just makes it to 60. Which there's no reason to think he wouldn't. There's so many interviews, so many times, and as he get older, he'll become even wiser and think, and he seemed like the kind of person who gave life that level of detail. How can I give back while also making my life better? Everything. He thought about himself and his wife and his kids and his community. And it's like we're missing out on that. Or at least maybe that's how I feel. I feel like the next 19 years he would have just given so much knowledge, and I had still so much to learn, right? Because right now all we can do is see his footage, how he attacked life. And if you don't know Kobe Bryant, just look up his highlights, okay? Just look up his greatest moments. And it's almost like you know who he is and how he lives his life just a little bit from the focus and drive he gives this game.
It's a matter of focus, commitment, sheer will.
And it's unlike any player. Maybe Michael Jordan was another one of those, but no other player had this quality. It's really those two, where they willed themselves to win. They weren't the strongest, the fastest, the quickest, the tallest. They couldn't jump the highest, most athletic. They had all of that, but they weren't the best at it.
I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast, right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed.
And through sheer willpower,
Sheer will.
he willed himself to be the greatest of all time for at least 2000s, 2010. You hear a lot of people saying he transcended basketball. Everyone says that, right? And they never go into how. Well, I'm gonna tell you how, right? The reason he transcended something, and that's like a biblical word. That's like a religious word, right? To transcend, it's dealing with something immaterial, like a soul. It's saying that not only was he a great basketball player, but the way he played basketball could be seen and studied as a way to live your life, and it would improve you. And I can say that right now. If you don't know Kobe Bryant, your life would be improved knowing the focus he gave his life. Just from that fact alone. Anyone out of the street, anyone anywhere can look, if they truly knew what he did for the basketball, and they understood the context of basketball, right? And they liked freaking basketball. But even if you don't like basketball, you can look and see how seriously and how much passion he put into every game. And the things he did were legendary. I mean, scoring 60 on your last day, that's his example, saying, you know what, I will show you guys. That was the ultimate cherry on the cake. On the day he retired, his last game, he scored 60 points, okay? He still had the willpower. And he could, but his body, was starting to break down. It doesn't matter how much willpower your brain might have and strength. At a certain point, I think he realized he gave everything to the game, and it was just time to give somebody else, to pass on the torch and to take care of his family while he still had, energy, right? And that's the thing. He transcended basketball. He became not just the Kobe of the NBA, he became the Kobe of life, of being a dad.
What is the conversational life like with your wife and kids to say, listen, this is what I'm doing? How did that conversation go?
Well, with the kids, it's different. So like the communication with our children is that Pops is working hard. This is the level of attention to detail you need to have in everything you do. So it's setting the example. Same thing with my wife. My wife's a stay-at-home wife. It's the hardest job, man. Right? So she works really hard at that. I mean, it's, and so her attention to detail with that as well are examples for our children. And then for my wife, it's, she's as competitive as I am. She's just like, listen, man, if you're going to be out here training 8 hours a day, if you're going to spend 9 months out of the year away from your family, you better fucking win the championship. But it's a balancing act. And that's the thing that's important, is understanding that we have to have so much energy. Because for like Natalia and Gianna when they were babies, especially Natalia because she was doing prime years, and I go to practice and I'd train and I'd play the game and I'd come home and I'd be sore and I'd be tired, and she wants to go swimming, she wants me to take her to the park, she wants to just jump on my back or whatever the case may be. You can't say, I'm too tired, I'm going to lay down. That's not fair. She doesn't know what the hell's going on, right? And if this was a game, you'd suck it up and play. I play games with the flu. I play games with 102-degree fever, man.
Powerful.
You can't do that.
That is so powerful.
Right?
Man.
You got to be on, man. No sleep.
Is there a story where it's like, no one knows about, where you went and played a game and it was so insane for whatever reasons?
No sleep.
You played a game with zero sleep.
Zero sleep. Zero sleep. It's like, kids, Natalia had a certain, health situation or what have you, and you're staying up all night, and then you got to go out and perform because fans don't know, teammates don't know, nor do they care, nor should they, that you've been up all night. You got to perform, right? And so you just got to go to work, man. So, you got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform.
Right? People think about it all the time. There's soccer players, Kobe. There's people I talk to who are, it's like, I'm Kobe, and like they're an artist. They suck at basketball. All they do is draw, right? I'm Kobe. I'm the Kobe of drawing. It means like you can apply his life. It's like a philosophy. It's beyond anything. It's not science. It's inspiration. It's talking to you at a level that you're not really supposed to be able to communicate. It's a feeling. But we all know what that feeling is. Some people call it willpower. Some people call it focus, competitiveness. I don't know, whatever. Will to win, passion. It's the thing that makes life worth it, right? He was very good at commanding that. And that's something very rare. Not many people see that. These are the kind of personalities soldiers have. This is the kind of focus, like killer mentality, meaning it's all about the mission. Not saying that the mission itself is to kill, okay? But the way he approached life, he was killing himself to play basketball. He even said it himself, right? Like, my relationships are gonna suffer. And a relationship is between two people, okay? And it suffers, right? Both of them suffer. It's not like he doesn't care about basketball, but he knows that for him to transcend himself, he needs to become an ideal, and that's what he stands for. He's an ideal. He's a religious figure in many ways. Not if you think about it in the context of the church. Okay, I'm not talking about, it's like a spiritual thing where you can explore a feeling he gave you, but it's hard to explain exactly what that feeling was. The hero that no matter how hard, no matter how beat you were, no matter how hard life had hit you,
It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit. Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore, we got to play Vince Carter and Toronto Raptors tonight. We actually had this happen. We had a game against Toronto in 2000, and Vince was tearing the league up. My back was jacked. But like the perception of that, like, what? Kobe's missing the game against Toronto and Vince Carter because, man, my back was really spasming. But people will be like, what? Oh, he's ducking Vince. Excuse me? No, I don't think so. So I would be in the layup line like, okay, there's a lot of days where, you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. Your back can bother you any other day. That shit ain't bothering me today.
Wow.
He gonna have to see me today. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
if you're Christian, Jesus getting whipped and kicked and spit on, everything is ashamed of. And let's be real, right? Jesus' march with the cross on his back down, that's the representation of everything horrible that could happen to you and still, pulling through. At least that's what I read into, Jesus with the cross, dragging people. But that's a whole other video. That's a whole other topic, all right? I'm getting off track. Kobe, in a way, yes, I'm about to say it right now. People are like, oh shit, he's like a Jesus figure, to me at least, where he's idolized in a way. And you might say, oh, no false idols, this and that and the other. I think that's just the religion trying to remain control. It's like our idol is the only idol, right? You can only learn from Jesus. Everything else is wrong and taboo, and you're going against. To me, I have a relationship where you can have many idols, and it's actually great because I look to religion, but religion of all sorts: Islam, Christianity, Sikh, Hindu. Okay, I'm reading about Hindu stuff right now, the Dharma, and and it's funny because all these religions say all the same thing, right? They're just describing the best people around them, and it's like these qualities are the best qualities ever, and that's what I'm saying about Kobe. Okay. I'm grateful to have known Kobe, and my life is better for Kobe existing. He's a legend in all sports, everything.
Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight. However, I couldn't completely miss the chance to take a moment to share some thoughts with all of you. The lesson I cherish the most is how important it is to love what you do. If you love what you do and it's making you happy, all the hard work and perseverance will pay off. I once had a guidance counselor tell me that I shouldn't play basketball, that it would never amount to anything for me. His negativity towards me made me stronger. You can't stop people from trying to limit your dreams, but you can stop it from becoming a reality. Your dreams are up to you. I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it. So with that, I'll let you carry on with your evening. Please know I'm thinking of you, supporting you, and encouraging you always.